The joint venture partner, discovering the win-win situation and how to move your name from the shadows to the spotlight. It's time to get your name out of the shadows and into the spotlight with the rest of them. And one of the great things about a joint venture partner is this is a win-win situation, not just for the joint venture partner, but for you also. Not just for you, but for also the joint venture partner. It just does not get any better than this. Now, when we start talking about joint venture partners, most people have a picture of what a joint venture partner should be in their head from the way that they were taught, and most people do not teach the whole picture. They just basically teach what we're going to be talking about here in the very first few slides. What is a joint venture partnership? Basically, it's a master sales force is what it can be. And this is what we're basically taught, is that it's a master sales force. It is one of the most powerful methods of driving traffic to your website to make sales, if it is done right. But a joint venture partnership is so much more than just having a master sales force. Joint ventures, or JVs, are one of the most powerful techniques you can employ to get your niche business up and running. So if you're having problems getting your niche business up and running, you better start thinking about getting joint venture partners. And not just to sell your product when it's complete. You need to get joint ventures from the planning stage all the way through. If they are done right, joint ventures can help you start making money faster than any other method you can use online. And the reason for this is because a lot of people struggle and they're trying to do it alone. And we hear things all the time. It's like, well, I just cannot do the technical stuff. If only I had somebody else to do it. Well, that only somebody else is called a joint venture. They can be used for so many different things, and it's powerful. And it will help you get up and running faster than any other method that's out there, because you now have somebody that is helping you do the work, helping you make sales. It's just such a powerful method all the way around. It's simple math. And I want you to really think about this for a minute, because a lot of people get caught up on, I don't want to have to pay somebody else all the time. I don't want a partner to have to pay. But I want you to think about something it's really easy to figure out in my mind anyways. It's simple math. You make 100% of what you manage to sell. And I want you to think right now how much you've actually been managing to sell right now. You can have 100% of that if you want to continue to go the direction that you're at and continue to do it by yourself. Or you can have 50% of what a bunch of people can sell. Now, just think about that. If you were to really go out and you got your product together, you had your $37 ebook or whatever, you went out and made 10 sales, let's say. You struggled and you finally made 10 sales. You're excited, you made some sales, you made $370, it's yours to keep. You don't have to split it with anybody. But what if you had just 2 or 3 joint venture partners who were promoting that product to their list, and instead of that 100 sales or that 10 sales, what if you made 100 sales and you gave away 50% of that? You still would have the income from 50 of those sales over top of 10. And they probably did it in a whole lot less time, within just a matter of a day or so, and on the day that you launched it or whatever. And that's just, you do the math. Which one do you prefer? To do it by yourself and make 100% of what you manage to sell, or 50% what a bunch of people can sell for you? A joint venture, and really get this part, a joint venture is a joint. And you notice I got capitalized, italicized, underlined, everything. It's a joint venture. That means that it's a partnership, that you guys are doing it together. Everybody is working toward a common goal. It's not just you doing all the work and then you paying JV partners and stuff. A joint venture is a true venture where everybody comes together and works toward the same common goal and gets amazing results. Also on that, you don't want to go into it thinking that your joint venture partner is going to be doing it all for you either. So because a lot of times that's not even going to be close to the case. Now, if you're not sure what a joint venture is, let me explain it. Here's how it works in a very simplistic form, and this is how we are taught to do joint ventures. A has a product which he wants to get to the market. So that's you. You have your product. You want to get it out to the market. B has a list which targets just the right market for A's product. So B is going to be your joint venture partner. They have a list. Maybe they have their products. Maybe they don't. If they got a list, my guess is they've got products. But they have a list. You have a product. A finds number B and sets up a joint venture with B. B promotes A's product to his list. A and B both share the profits from sales of the product. It's a win-win arrangement for both of them. Now, remember when we were talking about it there, just the last slide, you get 50% of what the joint venture arrangement makes or 100% of what you do yourself. So basically, you have your product. You're looking for somebody that's got a list which targets just the right market for your product. A lot of people get that part of it wrong also. I can't tell you how many offers I have gotten in an email and how many times I've heard other marketers say, talk about the emails that they've got where people will approach them that they sound like they got a really great product, but the problem of it is for that marketer to promote that, it's not going to work because it's not specifically targeted toward their list. Maybe it's closely related, but not specifically targeted. And a lot of the times it might be just a simple fact that that marketer doesn't really go that direction. Maybe they're really known for all they do is webinar. They've never done anything with a software product. Maybe their market would be great for that software product, but they're not known for promoting software products to their list. Their list knows them as maybe not the most technical person, don't really ever talk a lot about software. So that marketer is going to have a little bit harder time if you were to or approach him to say, hey, I got this great software product for you to promote to your list. Well, it might fit his target market, but it's not something that his list is going to accept from him because he's not known for that. So if he tells you, that I'm just not going to be able to promote that, not that it's a good product, not a good product or whatever, my list is just not going to accept this from me personally. That you got to take that in consideration too. So if somebody tells you no, that they're not going to be able to do that, they've usually got a good reason for it. So. All right, you can leverage resources. The magic word here is leverage. You've got to leverage your time and resources with fellow marketers to improve yourself and to maximize your success. If you're trying to do this all by yourself, you're going to find out very quickly that you have very limited time, and it seems like you're running out of time all of the time. Your bills are coming due and you're still not getting anything done. You're trying your hardest. Life keeps happening. You're just plain run out of time at the end of the day, and it seems like you never get any place. It doesn't seem like you have all the resources in place to be able to get this. Well, you've got fellow marketers out there that are willing to help if you approach them right. They're willing to help you. They've got the resources. They've got time. Maybe they've got a staff of people that can help, or whatever is set in place. You need to leverage this time. And the thing of it is that you've got skills that you can also use to leverage and stuff to be able to say, listen, I can do this for you if you can do this for me. And so you guys, that helps you to get things done faster and move things along quickly so that you can get those products out there, get them launched, and start making some real income online. And instead of struggling it all by yourself and getting nothing done and getting nowheres. Most marketers miss out on a huge chunk of available profits by not doing enough joint ventures. And it's just a plain, simple truth. If you do not do enough joint ventures, you're missing out on a lot of available profits that are sitting out there. Many people are going about this just leaving so much money on the table that is there to be made. And basically they end up saying, man, I'm just not able to do this. There's just no money. I'm just not seeing it. I don't know how everybody else does it, but I'm not able to do this. And you're right. You're not able to do this, but together with a team, with joint venture partners, you'll be able to get this done. And you're going to find out that there's a lot of profit out there to be made through joint venture partnerships. It's the easiest way to leverage resources you wouldn't otherwise have. The skills that you don't have, other people have them. They're looking for you just like you're looking for them. There's probably two reasons why joint ventures are not used fully. These are the fear of work, and what I mean by that is the fear of the work that it's going to take to actually get a joint venture partner. A lot of people, this scares them to death. It's like, and especially once they get started at it, because I'm going to tell you, finding joint venture partners, no matter what anybody has ever told you, is not going to be the easiest thing that you've ever done. But you need to do it. You need to be persistent and continue after it, because it's where everything comes together. There's for a lot of people, though, they've got a fear of all the work that it's going to take to get them in there, and the fear of failure, that they're never going to find them, especially if they get 2 or 3 no's in a row. Right away, they're like, oh, man, I'm just not able to find them. It's like, so it's, it all starts working together, and it starts getting into your mind that it's like, man, I'm just not going to be able to do this. It's just not working out for me. But I want you to know, you failed in the first place by having this kind of a mindset. If you've got the mindset where you're afraid of the work that it's going to take to put in and fear of failure, you've already failed. So, you might as well get over that mindset right now. Start believing that you're going to succeed at this, and understand it's going to take some work. It's going to take some effort on your part to be able to get this to happen for you. And you're going to get some no's. You're going to get a lot of no's. Trust me, you are. I still get no's. I tell people no all the time. So make sure that you really understand this going in, that it's going to be a lot of work on your part. While I'm not here to preach, I do want to emphasize, no marketer out there is ever an island. You're not by yourself. You're not stranded on some desert island like a lot of people think they are right now, trying to do this alone. If you are, I guess all I can tell you is that you really need to start listening to what's being taught, or you just need to continue down that path, and you continue to stay on that little island until you wake up to the fact that you're not going to be able to do this all alone, and you understand that you're going to need partners, even if it means that you're going to start splitting profits 50-50. Because I learned a long time ago that I couldn't do it by myself. I tried and I tried and I tried for 6 months, and I started going backwards, and things were not a pretty sight. And I want to emphasize to you right now, you're not on an island all by yourself. If you are, you need to get off of that island. You need to send up some flares or whatever for the rescue ship to come after you and get you onto a place where you can start doing some joint venture partners. The joint venture as part of your product or planning stage. This is where you need to really start thinking joint venture. It's not just getting somebody to sell your product in the end stage. That's the very end. Yes, you need to do that. It's critical to get joint venture partners for your launches, but you need to include joint venture partners as part of your product or planning stage from the very beginning. Most people think a joint venture needs to have, I have a product, you have a list, you promote my product, but joint ventures are so much more than that if you do them right. Bringing in your joint or your potential JV partners as part of the project is huge. Your JV partners now have a vested interest in your success, not just selling just another product someone wants me to pitch. And that's the way most joint venture partners try to be formed, is somebody sending an email or contacting someone and say, hey, I got a product, can you sell this thing? They're trying to basically sell their product to the joint venture partner to get them to actually promote this. So if you bring your JV partners in from the very beginning, the planning stage, basically working with people is one of the most effective ways that you can start getting your products done. Basically the way that you're going to be approaching these guys is work on that ego trip. It's like, wow, I've been seeing what you've been doing, and I'm kind of working on something that I really think that I could use your help on, and this is what I've got doing. Give them as much detail as possible, and saying, I think you're the person I would really like to include in this product that I'm doing, and as a partner or whatever in it, I would be willing to split the profits with you that I make 50-50, if I can get you in there. Asking people's advice, maybe you've got some ideas, and you do a joint venture partner just to get advice in the planning stages of this. to get people's, to their input on your product to make it a better product. This starts giving other people a vested interest in your success. And when they do, when you go to do that launch, you're going to get a better yes when you've got other people that have vested interest in making sure that that product is out there and selling well. Maybe part of the planning or the product stage is doing interviews with those JV partners, bringing them in as part of the product and part of the planning stage. Integrate your potential JV partners somewhere in the process before the launch process. Maybe they're going to be doing webinar trainings for you. Maybe it's after your launch, but you've already contacted them, and it's going to be in their vested interest to get as many people to buy this product because they're going to be teaching some of the trainings and stuff afterwards, after the launch. Joint venture business partnerships. Now this is a little bit different. This is actually forming a partnership in your business where maybe you have somebody else where there's two of you that are partnering together to form a business or a company called a joint venture. Partnership or joint venture businesses with another marketer where you basically are saying, I would like you to become part of my business to, 50-50, whatever we make, we're going at this together because this allows you to have more skills involved and other resources. Your relationship is based on both partners working together from their strengths. You find a partner who complements your skill set. Relationships is based on both partners working from their strengths, and that's important. It's not using the weaknesses that you have. You find partners that complement your skill sets. So if you've got some weaknesses out there, your joint venture partner or your business partner that you're finding should complement those where maybe those are his strengths. If you can't do the tech skills, your business partner is somebody that maybe is really up to date on their tech skills. They're on top of it. Maybe you can do trainings well and they can't. Whatever it is, you work from each of you is working within your strengths and you complement each other's skill sets. Now, here's some things that you really need to be prepared for when you're doing joint venture business partnerships. First of all, and this is a big one, you would not even think of this when you get started until you do the first big check that you write out to your partner. You're sitting here watching the money come in and you're like, wow, look at this. Things are going great. And all of a sudden it's time to pay up. And the business partner, you've got a 50-50 split. Maybe you had other JV partners that you've paid them their commission. Now it's time the profits for you to split it with your business partner. I remember the first time that I did this. Remember, this money wouldn't have been possible without your partner. When it goes to write that big check out to your partner for his cut, remember you would not have had most of that money if it would not have been for your partner and stuff. Maybe they helped you get all your websites up that you would not have been able to get up or you would have been months and months trying to figure it all out. Maybe they're doing some of the training, whatever it is that allowed you to get to the point where you're at. Be careful about letting resentment creep in just because you are paying your partner a large amount of monies. And don't be tempted to rationalize and skim off a tiny percentage here or there. It's just not going to work. It's going to cause a lot of hardships and a lot of bad feelings. Do not be tempted to sit there and go, well, I think I did more work than my partner, so I should be able to just take a little percentage more. So instead of 50-50, it's going into my bank account. It's never going to really know. So, this is the way it is. You need to have it set up so everybody's knowing what's going on, that, they don't have to be, knowing what's in your bank account and stuff like that, but they're able to see the sales that coming in. So keep everybody honest and stuff, because you know what? When you go to write those big checks out, a lot of people aren't really emotionally prepared for that, and they're thinking, wow, this money's coming in and I'm paying my bills, and all of a sudden it's like, oops, I forgot about my partner. Create a formal agreement, and I'm not going to give you any legal advice here, but I would, look into maybe finding a lawyer to write up an agreement for you. If nothing else, at the very least, if you do nothing else, create an agreement in an email, send it to each other, and make sure, print it off, sign your signatures, whatever, send them back to each other, whatever that you, if at the very least, if you're not going to use a lawyer, whatever. But make sure that you have a formal agreement set up of some kind that states who's going to get what's what's happening in the business, and what everybody's shares are going to be. Really do the best that you can to have some kind of a formal agreement to help keep the peace and help keep things running smoothly. Building or bundling products together is another way to do joint ventures. Building or bundling products or offers is a very, very effective strategy. If the joint venture products or your product is a non-competing one, complements your product, and fits your market too, then it can be bundled with yours to create an entirely new and separate offering. So maybe you've just got, let's say you've been taught that to go out and create a product, you got to create this wonderful ebook. Well, you've done it. You've created this wonderful ebook, but now you want to add some more. You've got a partner that maybe can take that ebook and do a training video series out of that ebook where you can't, so that they've got a, or maybe they've got a product already that's basically training videos on what you're teaching in your ebook. You could join your products together and create a bigger product with more value. So it's basically bundling your products together and then offering it as one big product. You can also add bonus offers for extra added value is another way to joint venture, where it's like where you add a product as a bonus offer to theirs. Basically, it's kind of the same thing as bundling them together, only maybe you offer them as like a fast action bonus for their product launch or something like that. Another way that you can do, maybe you have that ebook or whatever, and you get your joint venture partners to do interviews to add into your product. So building or bundling products together is a great way where you join up with somebody else that you're going to go together and you're going to build your products. Or if you have products that are complementing each other very well, not competing products. You're not going to want to have the same kind of, if let's say I have a training product on list building, I'm not going to want to go out and look for somebody else that's got another training product on list building, and that's going to, basically we can bundle them together and send them out, and they're like, well, I like this guy's training better than this guy's, and why are they all together here? They need to be, complemented. So maybe if I had a list building, a great thing would be I need traffic to build my list. So somebody else has a traffic product that I could use. It complements mine very well. So we bundle them together. Joint venture for services. A lot of people just call this freelancing. It's also a way to do a joint venture where basically maybe you're just getting other people joint ventures just to do certain things, or you're doing certain things for their business. Think of all the money producing tasks that you don't have time to do or you do not have the skills for. Find a partner who complements your skill set and is doing work according to their strengths. You do not want to go out and find a bunch of people that to start doing some partnerships with and stuff that for you to, let's say you want to find somebody to do your copywriting. Well, you want to make sure that person is skilled in copywriting to be able to do that. A lot of the times, and we find it's one of those that are hard to really find the people that are skilled in that area. So it's like, well, maybe you're a little bit better than I am, so you go for it or whatever. So, but look for people that complement your skill set. Different things you can find people to help do are copywriting, where you bring on partners that are going to, because they've got copywriting skills, that they're going to be able to do the sales copy, or writing emails to JV partners to get them to promote, or to writing follow-up messages. You would bring somebody like that on if that's what you're not skilled at. Maybe for blogging, for getting traffic or just building your credibility, you're not good at that. So you bring on partners that would help you with your blogging, your article marketing, video marketing, tech skills, knowing that you're not going to be able to get this done unless you get that website up. You're not able to do it, so you bring on look for joint ventures that you're going to be able to bring in to help you set up the website. So their job is to set up the websites. Provide coaching or training if that's not your thing. Programming. A lot of times a lot of our products and things take a programmer. Maybe it's just somebody that's good at finding joint venture partners for you. So when you bring them into your basically into your business or into your product planning and stuff, and their job is just to find joint venture partners. There are so many things that you can use joint ventures for in their services and stuff. You need to leverage these things. The attitude that you got to go in looking at this is not just, hey, can you come and do this for me? You go into it first as, what can I do for you first? Offer your skills that you have to a joint venture partner, saying, "Hey, I see that you're doing this. I'm very good at article marketing, or I'm very good at setting up websites and stuff. Could you use my help?" And then what you're doing is you're building a relationship with that person, and you begin to build a stronger relationship. And pretty soon you're helping each other, because they're returning the favor, the law of reciprocity. It basically where they're looking, it's like, wow, he just did this for me. What can I do for you now? You'll find that works over and over and over again if you go into it looking, how can I help you first? Look for opportunities. Always be looking for opportunities to do joint venture partnerships. Here's just an example that I put down here. The next time you read an ebook that is explaining some kind of tedious process that would normally take hours to complete, you sit there and simply think of a way to automate that process or to make it easier. So maybe you got some programming skills. Maybe your mind works differently than mine, where you can sit down and look at that ebook and you're just like, wow, that would take a long time to be able to get that all together. And you see this done all the time. And a lot of these are from joint venture partners, where a partner will see something that's like, if you would do this, and I've got this program, or I could develop this program that would totally automate this process, or really make it a lot simpler for you, to help make this simpler for your customers. This is a joint venture partner. Think of a service that complements the process explained in the ebook. So maybe it's you reading that ebook and you're basically seeing that maybe they're talking about how to set up a website, but you understand that there's a lot of people that are not going to be able to set up these websites. So you share your system that you've got made, or you're going to have made. Even if you got the idea and you can't figure out how to get it made, you can get a programmer, or maybe your joint venture partner that you're looking to do a partnership with has programmers already that they could set. If they're like, see that the idea is good, like, hey, I've got somebody that can already do this for us, so man, let's do this thing. You'll see it all the time where you'll have a system that's out there that's set up to automate it, and a lot of times it's because somebody approached somebody saying, you know what, this could be easier, let's do it this way. You'll be surprised on what you can come up with if you really stop and think of things. You might not be able to really do it yourself, but you can come up with the process of how you think it should work. Most of the time, if you get that information to a programmer, they can come up with how it's going to work. Next, you're going to approach the person who wrote the book. Ask if they would like to joint venture on a product that automates their process. Most of the time, they're going to say, you betcha, anything to make it easier for my customers. Then you can sell it to his or her list or your list and make some easy profits. All right, let's get into finding joint venture partners. We understand that they can be used for many, many, many things. The problem of it is actually coming up with a joint venture partner and finding them. That is probably the worst. A lot of you know I need a joint venture partner. Yes, it would be easier with a joint venture partner. I understand that, but how do I find them? How am I going to get them? All right, take an organized and structured approach to finding your potential JV partnership. You need a plan. You need to be organized with this, because understand that these relationships that you're about to build, you want them to be long-term. So when you start getting contact information and you start getting this, you want to be writing this down, and you want to be keeping track of it for further use, because once you go through the work and you find the JV partnerships, you want to start building a relationship with that person. You want to keep it a continued relationship so you don't have to go through this process every single time, and you want to continue to build this. Maybe you find 3 or 4 joint venture partners the first time, and the next time you still have those 3 or 4. Maybe they've recommended some other ones, and you've went through and you found 3 or 4 more the next time. So you want to keep track of this. Collect as much information as you can on them and collate it in a spreadsheet. And if you can't just do a spreadsheet, I don't care if it's a piece of paper that you have, a phone file, whatever you can do, your skill set, whatever makes it easier for you, keep this information in a place where you can find it. Open a notepad, whatever it takes so that you know where this information is when you need it. Here's what you're going to be looking for. You're going to be looking for contact information, their names, their email if you can find it, telephone, and when we go to email, I want you to even be thinking of support desk, because a lot of times that's all you're going to find is a support desk. Telephone numbers if you can find them, physical mailing addresses if you can find them, etc. Whatever you can find as contact information on your joint venture partners, you're going to get it and write it down. You're going to find website URLs with a brief description of their site and products. Don't just go out and look for, yourdomain.com and write that thing down. Actually go to that site. Check out the site. Make sure it's an existing site still, that it's not down. Then, maybe that marketer is not doing anything anymore. So when you find somebody, go check out the site. Make sure everything's working, looks good, everything's looking professional. Write a brief description on your, with underneath the contact information. You're going to have, contact information, website URL, brief description. Maybe it's a, whatever their site is on, list building, dog training, whatever it is, they sell dog products, whatever it is. And you're going to have, and you're also going to be including the products that you can find of this person of this potential JV, the different products that they have. Now, there's a reason that you're going to be doing all of this, and I'll explain that in just a minute. But find about their websites and their products. Interesting facts. This is something that is really, really important for you to be remembering. I just shared one of them tonight, but when you can find out people's birthdays, you should be writing it down. If you understand when people got married, their anniversaries, write it down. If you know their likes or their dislikes, or you find them, write them down. Maybe you know the hobbies that they like to do. Write that down on that card or whatever spreadsheet, wherever you're doing as well, because these are going to come very, very, very handy. Let's say you know when somebody's birthday is, and this happened to me already today. But think about it when that marketer's birthday comes up, you know when their birthday is. You've got it set up for some kind of alert to alert you. You send out a card. Just send out a physical card, not an email, although that's great too or whatever, but send out a physical card to that person. Maybe you know what some of their likes or dislikes and you want to send them a small gift or whatever. That's really going to show, when that physical thing shows up on the doorstep, they pay attention to that and they're like, wow, that person remembered my birthday. That's pretty cool. People like to be remembered on their birthdays and their anniversaries. It's not any fun, even though sometimes we get to ages where we're like, I wish people would forget my birthday and stuff. That's not the case. Nobody likes to be forgot on their birthday. They like to be remembered. Some of the things that I can tell you a story of where got a JV partner just because I happened to come across some information on his wedding anniversary date, and I happened to mention to him I was trying to get him as a joint venture partner, was not getting very far, and I sent out a card and said, hey, I want to wish you a happy anniversary. I see that's coming up here in a couple days. Just wanted to wish you and your wife a very happy anniversary and stuff, and and that's all I did. And the thing of it is, he sent an email back to me, and it's like, he said, I've noticed that you were sending me these emails. I just haven't had time to look at them. I want to apologize. I didn't mean to, I'm not saying no, I wasn't putting you up. I just haven't had time, but I wanted to let you know that, thank you for that anniversary wish. It really meant a lot. And, let's set up a time. So basically so we can talk about what what your proposal is here. And so those kind of things, it really sticks in other people's minds, and you really want to pay attention to interesting facts. Where can you find those interesting facts? A lot of time you can find them in profiles like Twitter and Facebook or LinkedIn. Wherever they've got a profile put up, a lot of times they'll have their birthdays. They'll put their anniversaries. Sometimes they'll put their children's name and their birthdays and those kind of things. A lot of times you can tell by when somebody's doing a training webinar or something like that, and they go to their screen and you see something about their, maybe one of their, something that they like is all plastered all over their screen or whatever. You can get an idea of something that they like. Be paying attention when these things are happening, and make sure that you're marking these things down, because they will come in very handy. Note, you should also keep track of what your competitors are doing when you find these niche marketing listings. And this is what we're talking about when you're looking at their sites and their products. Also find out, just keeping track of in mental notes of what they're doing. How often, if get on their list, which is another great way to get information, get on their list because you'll learn all sorts of interesting facts. You can start finding out how they send out emails, how they're, what kind of products they've got, different facts about them. Keep track of them, because this is a great way to learn about your competitors and how you can compete with them and add extra value and complement what they're already doing. All right, the approach to the gatekeeper of the list. Once you've collected a decent sized list of potential joint venture partners, it's time to make contact. This is very important. Most people do this completely wrong. They don't do it intentionally. They don't do it out of meanness or anything else. They just don't know. But once you've collected a decent sized list, and I'm saying a decent sized list, I'm talking, try to find at least 30 joint venture partners, the names and contacts with them. That should be pretty easy. Some niches maybe it's not quite as easy to find or whatever, but all of them you can find joint venture partners in any niche that I can think of. But now it's time to make contact with them. First, make sure you're approaching the right JV partners with the right target market, because if you don't approach the right ones, you're going to get a no, and it's really not going to do you any good to do a joint venture partner. Now, you can use other people in other niches as joint venture partners. Let's say you're in the make money and somebody else is in dog training, but they're very skilled at maybe setting up websites or very technical. Sure, you can do a joint venture that way, but if you're looking for them to promote products, you want to make sure that they have the right list for your product, the right targeted market. Only contact marketers who sell products aimed at your niche market, and therefore have an email or customer list of people who may have an interest in your products and services. So one of the things that you're looking for, that we've taught before, is you're looking for somebody with a list, somebody that they can send out a product recommendation to promote to your product. Good ways to find out is you're going to be contacting people that you find that are list building. They've got squeeze pages out there. They've got list building going on and stuff. That's a very good clue that they've probably got some kind of a list building efforts going on. The approach is key, and it must be you oriented. And I'm not saying it's all about you. I'm saying you need to make it all about the potential joint venture partner. You need to make it about how can I help you. Think about building a relationship before you ever ask anything from them. A lot of people will cold contact somebody, just say, hey, I got this great product. It's going to do you wonders. Hey, can you do this? That's not the right way to go. Make sure that you're looking for ways that you can complement their business and help them out. If you make it about how can I help you, you're going to get a lot farther ahead. And I see a lot of people that will do this right. And when they do it, I mean, it makes such an impression in my mind. And I've even made an impression in other people's minds by just offering my service to them and helping them out. When I seen maybe that they were struggling with something, I was like, I'm skilled at that. I can approach that person and say, what, I see you're kind of struggling here a little bit, not to criticize what you got going on here and stuff, but what if you did it this way and I could really help you out here? Or I have a product that really would help you out here and really add some extra value to yours. Would you be interested in me helping you out a little bit? And you start building that relationship, and you notice you've never asked them to do anything for you yet. But I understand you want to get that out there, that product out there, and get that thing going and stuff. So, you don't figure you got time to help somebody else out first. So, but I want you to keep this in the back of your mind. Helping other people first is huge. All right, different ways to contact your joint venture partner. Contact by phone. The phone is far more powerful communication tool than ever before. One of the reasons is email is such a popular thing nowadays. It's just so easy to send out an email that a lot of people do not even think about picking up the phone and communicating with other people on it anymore. But the thing of it is that it's, everybody's got cell phones. It's like you can get in touch with somebody almost immediately anytime that you want. Usually you can find phone numbers that you can get in touch with. If not, phone isn't going to be the best one if you can't find that phone number. But most of the time you can find some kind of a phone number. It provides instant contact and can really build value, relationships, and trust. Maybe it's picking up a phone and saying, hey, I was at your website and I seen that your website was down, or you're having some problems. I just wanted to let you know that what was going on, and if you ever need any help in that area, maybe mention what kind of skills that you can do, or I've seen that, I was doing a search for some articles out there, and I really haven't been finding any. Do you do any article marketing? A lot of times they'll say, well, yeah, I try, but that's just something I don't have a lot of time for. Well, I kind of could help you out here and maybe write some articles for you and get them blasted out there for you just to kind of help you drive some traffic. And, you're just building a relationship with that person. Your first phone call should be direct and personal. Just get right to the point. It's not, a lot of times they don't got time to just, sit around and talk about, how everything's going. If they get into the families or whatever, go for it. But you need to keep it personal. It's like, hey there, Mr. or Mrs. So-and-so, this is, and be direct. Get to the point of what's going on. Don't sit there and try to take up their whole day, and sit there and tell them all about your family and all about your hobbies and everything else. Direct and personal. Be specific about numbers. If you're going to get into your products, talking about products before you get going on building these relationships, be specific about numbers, commitments, dates, and times. So if you're getting into, I've got this product and I would like you to consider promoting it to your list, make sure you have numbers and as many specifics as you possibly can. Because they're going to start asking you questions. Now, they could possibly just brush you right off and say, can we do this some other time? I don't got time right now. Then you honor that and, work at it again about getting in contact them with another day. But if they say, yeah, I would like to hear about it, and they start asking questions, you better have specific answers for them. Maybe you don't know conversions or things like that, but make sure that you can be able to show them what kind of things like split testing or something like that you have in place, that you're going to be there to make sure that the conversions are better after your launch gets started if they're down. Contact by snail mail. Forget the old email. We were talking about just a few minutes ago about sending birthday cards and things like that. What about if you were to send out a little package to them, maybe it included your product, if it's a physical product, or maybe you know their interests, some of their likes, maybe that person is just a big chocolate fiend. They just love chocolate. Maybe you send them a box of chocolate. Instead of just sending in a little brown paper bag, you put that in a nice FedEx package, because what happens, it gets there and they're like, wow, FedEx package, what's this? Maybe they won a contest, they're thinking, or whatever, from another JV partner, or they're expecting something that, well, man, what'd I order, or whatever. They're going to open that thing. FedEx packages, even getting cards, things like that, usually get noticed and opened up. Even your bills, things like that, they get thrown on the desk, but eventually they got to get opened up. So make sure it doesn't look like it's just some kind of junk mail or whatever coming. So I've heard of marketers, getting chocolate roses and different things, and they'll be talking about, how they sat there and they ate that chocolate and stuff, and then they felt guilty. It's like, wow, this guy just sent me all of this chocolate and everything else. Now I just sat there and ate it. I feel guilty now, and I just feel like I have to promote for them. So, things like that, just be thinking, be unique. Think, as we're saying down there at the end, be unique, do something different than other people are doing. Sending out a snail mail piece can have a dramatic effect on the results that you get. The internet is a marketing tool, but it's not your entire business. Everybody tries to do everything on the internet, but think about some things offline once in a while, because that's going to sometimes has one of the biggest effects that's what you're looking for is those dramatic effects. Know your joint venture partner. You just got to get to know them. You got to do your research, because this is going to help you when you're sending something out to know what's going to have the best, the most effect on that when they maybe open up that piece of mail. Maybe you found out their hobbies, and maybe you find out they collect something, and you found something that would be a great piece of their collection, so you send it to them. Just saying, hey, I noticed that you collect these, and I ran across this. I thought I would send this out. That goes a long way to say, wow, that person's, knowing a little bit about me. He's doing his homework. He understands who I am, and I'm going to pay attention to this person because, they're doing different things. They're a little bit unique from the other ones that are just promoting to me all the time, saying, can you do this, this, and this? Contacting by email. Your email should contain your name, your website address, and your business proposal. And that business proposal should be very detailed. So let them know who you are. Don't make them sit there and guess or trying to look at the emails and everything else. Make sure they know who you are. Start right out. Not wait until you sign it, but say, hey, this is so-and-so. Here's my business is this. Here's my website address. Feel free to check it out and see, because a lot of times what happens here is they can go to your website address to look to see what kind of professionalism you got going on, or maybe they can learn a little bit about you ahead of time to find out if you look like somebody they want to do business with. And here's my proposal. This is what I've got to do. I would like to offer you, and you need to focus on benefits of what it's going to do. Honestly state how doing a joint venture partnership can benefit them and their subscribers, not on the features of the product itself, and don't focus on you. Focus on them, how it's going to benefit them and their subscribers. If you can benefit their subscribers in some way, maybe it's a free product that you just want to offer to them for their list. It's like, hey, I've got this offer I'd like to give you. It's totally free for you to give to your list. Maybe you're going to be doing some list building with it or whatever, but it's just free for them to give to their list. But you need to state what the benefits are. Provide as much real profit-related information as you can, and remember to be honest. Don't sit there and just put a bunch of hype into it and say, man, you're going to make all the tons and tons of money. Be as honest as you possibly can, and how much real profit-related information, real numbers we're talking. So, if you know conversions already, provide that kind of stuff so you can give them an idea of what, kind of profit they're actually going to be making if they're going to not just, hey, you're going to make a bunch of money, a boatload of money and stuff, if you send this out, because they don't know that. You really don't know that, because first of all, you really don't know them as well as you probably should yet, so you're really not sure on that. So a lot of times the first thing they're going to do is like, they're going to read something like that going, you don't have a clue what I'm going to do. You don't have a clue how responsive my list is. Yeah, I got a good targeted list, but I haven't done nothing with them for 6 months and they're not even responsive. So how do you figure I'm going to make a boatload of money and stuff? And right away they're deleting you out of there because you haven't done your homework. You don't really know the real profit-related information and the information that you needed to approach them with. They may not respond to your first email. Make sure you follow up with a phone call if possible. Maybe it's a fax. If you got their fax number, you send them a fax. A lot of times a fax will come through. It's sitting there and you're like, oh, what's this? You open it up and you read it. Or postal mail. Just because you do not get a response to your first email, even if it's a first phone call, maybe it's a fax, whatever you use that first method, try something different or follow up with it. Even if you make contact, a lot of times they're going to say, can you do a follow up with me a little bit later and remind me of this? Because right now I don't have the time, or I'm kind of booked up right now. So always be remembering the follow up. What not to do. Hey, big JV partner, I know you may not know me, but I have this killer product that is amazing, and I know it will make you a lot of money when you promote it to your huge list. delete is what's going to happen to that. And you know, a lot of people will laugh at this, like going, who in the world would do something like this? A lot of times it's got a little bit more detail than this, but a lot of times this is what actually comes through. You know, a lot of times they'll, you know, it's like, hey, I know you're a big time marketer out there, and you don't know me. I've been on your list for so long and stuff, but you probably don't know who I am, and which is telling, putting in my mind, it's like, oh, you don't think I pay attention to my list and know who they're on there or what? You know, you got to be careful what you're saying, because you can blow it from the very start point if you do not do it right. Don't just go out there and just, if at all possible, build that relationship first before you ever ask anything. Persistence will win the day. Follow through is important, like we just talked about. Your first email or letter may not get read. Your initial phone call may not get returned. Rejections are inevitable, but keep plugging away at your list. If you've started looking for JV partners yet, you understand about rejection. If you have not started looking for JV partners yet, you're thinking about it, you're getting to that place, or when you do get to this point, if you do not understand what rejection is, you soon will. Trust me on this. If you're a person that does not like rejections, get used to being sad for a while, because you're going to get a lot of rejections. But you need to understand that you need to keep plugging away at this, because in building that list of your joint venture partners, however you're planning on doing joint venture partners, building that list, keep plugging away at it. Be persistent but not annoying. Present yourself professionally. You always want to present yourself as professionally as you possibly can. And there's a difference between being persistent but not annoying. A lot of people, they just hound you over and over. It's like, hey, did you see the email I sent you? I didn't get any response from you and stuff, and I just wanted to make sure you did. Well, that marketer is probably busy. If they're doing anything important online, making some money or running a good business, they're probably busy, and a lot of times they might not have seen it. Maybe it went to a support desk, it hasn't got to them yet, or whatever, or got lost in spam if it was an email or whatever. They might not have seen it, and it's great to follow up with them, just to check in on things, but don't sit there and being annoying. Don't be a pest. You know, think about how, for those of you that might have children or something, how that, you know, the child where you've told them no once, or you've told them, you know, maybe or later or whatever, and they just keep getting after you until you finally just want to explode. Well, that's the same way in this kind of business. If you're get to the point of annoyance, they're probably going to let you know about it, and you probably lost any chance of ever having that person as a joint venture partner. Don't let yourself get discouraged. Keep yourself motivated and keep organized. And the motivation part, once you start getting rejections, is hard sometimes. But you've got to stay motivated, because there's going to be that day when you get that first yes, that you're going to say, finally, I did it. You're going to be so excited, and you're going to finally believe that it's possible to get more, and you're going to go at it again. You're going to, well, I contacted 30 people and got one yes. Well, I guess I'll contact 30 more people and hopefully get maybe more this time, but if I get one more, well, at least I got two more than I ever had. Once you found a joint venture partner, you can continue making those phone calls and sending out those email offers. Just because you get a list, if you're working toward a goal of 30 and you reach that 30, don't stop. Continue making phone calls. Continue sending out emails. Continue building that joint venture partner list of potential partners and stuff. Maybe you keep them, maybe they've got certain skills and they can't help you right now, but they would love to work with you in the future. You've got that list that's ready to go. So when it's like, hey, you know, I contacted you once before and you said maybe at a future date, and I've got this project and stuff that I would really like you to think about, because, you know, from what we talked about before, this would be really great. One of the things you need to understand is, once you get this list, you need to continue to keep this relationship open. Don't just put them on a list and forget about them, because they're going to forget about you, especially if they weren't able to help you out right then and there. You're going to have to keep reminding them and keep looking for ways to help them throughout that until they get to a point where they're actually able to help you. Where to find joint venture partners? you know what you need, you know how to approach them, but where do you find them? Identify potential joint venture partners is relatively easy online. This is the easy part, is actually locating them. There's so many places that you can locate joint venture partners. The first one we want to talk about is probably one of the simplest. Google or a search engine, whatever search engine strategy you're using or whatever, basically search for your keywords in paid and non-paid listings. So basically you're typing in the keywords that you're looking for. Keywords, if you notice, is an important part of your business. You type in those, let's say you're dog training or make money online, whatever you're doing, whatever niche you're in. You type those keywords in and you start searching for people that have products out there or websites that come up there, and you're going to start looking for the website owners is who you're looking for. Find contact information on at least 30 joint venture partners. Partner possibilities. Understand they're not your joint venture partners yet. They're just possibilities. That 30 is just a number. Don't worry. Don't sit there, well, I have to have 30 or whatever. Maybe it's 40, 50, maybe it's 10, whatever you can find. The contact information that we talked about earlier. Click on the website linking and find more information on their websites. So basically, sometimes you can find the names just doing the search that way. A lot of times you're going to want to click on those website linkings, and it's going to take you to their websites where you'll usually find some kind of contact information if that person is anybody that you should be doing business with. You'll find their contact information. So click on the linking and look for contact information. Another option is to find contact information from a website by running the website through whois.net. That's going to tell you who owns that domain, and unless they have it private, set to private, which most people don't, but a lot of them are starting to, but most people do not have it set to private. They want people to contact them. So look at whois.net and look for the contact information of the person that owns the website. Easy to newsletter directories. Why newsletter directories? This is where you're going to find the newsletter owners who have opt-in lists with thousands of subscribers, sometimes maybe not thousands, but who cares? Thousands of subscribers waiting to read your offer and buy your products and services. So the people that have newsletters out there, they usually have subscribers. You have to subscribe to their newsletters. They have a list of people that would be interested, if you're looking in the right niche, the right target market, ready to buy your offers and services. Find the newsletter owners who have opt-in lists with thousands of subscribers. Find newsletter owners that target any niche. Now, the thing you got to worry about, the reason I put that any niche is that you got to understand that a lot of these marketers out there and stuff, just because they're in a different niche, doesn't mean that they don't have the skill sets that you can use in your own business. You're not going to want to use some of them for, going out and, basically promoting your products, but you can get them to maybe do different skill sets so that, another thing of it is that you can find newsletter owners that target almost any niche that's out there. It's just, if you're in a certain niche, just type in, the newsletter directory in that niche, and you're probably going to find newsletters out there that you're going to be able to use. So here's what you do. Go to Google, type in newsletter directories. And here's a search that I did. Just typed in newsletter directories. Here's what I came up with, just a few of the ones that we came up with. We had top 10 newsletter directories, all sorts of them that we can click on. Free newsletter directories. Another thing you can do is type in free newsletter directories, and you'll get some more. Easy to news. Maybe you put in easy to newsletter directories, because that's another great thing to use here. So basically, we picked one of them that we found on there. We went to the top 10. We found easylisting.com. What you would do here is click on the category related to your niche. So basically, click on the category that's closely related to your niche that you possibly can. So let's say, for example, you were in the health niche. You see that there's 15 different easing directories there. So you're going to click on the health niche. It's going to take you to different links that you can go to, different directories where you're going to be able to find different websites that have different easings or newsletters. So let's we choose one of the easing topics. Let's pick the fitness alert topic down there. You say, well, that one looks kind of interesting. So you're going to click on that. It's going to take you to the website. When you get there, you see you got the back issues. You could be checking out those back issues to find out, maybe things going on. To learn about different issues that they've had, and talking about their products and services. But also you're going to see that you can subscribe to the Fitness Letter newsletter. You're going to have the Functional Fitness Facts homepage, so that you could go check out their homepage, find out what's all about. You could subscribe to their newsletter so you can start following this marketer, start to know your competition a little bit. But understand down here you've got about the author, so you can go down here and you can find out a little bit about the author. Maybe they're given birth dates, maybe they're given some of the things that they do. They're talking about their business, whatever they've got going on, and sometimes they go into major details, sometimes it's a little bit. They've got to contact me. Very important thing for you to be getting. Also, you notice down there the copyright. They've got another website address down there. It's probably the same one it takes you to the home page. But if not, you've got another possibility down there. So you can find all sorts of different information just by doing some research out there. Article directory is going to work kind of the same way. You're going to find contact information in the resource box and contact the article's author. Easing Articles is a great place. You don't need to go out to all the article directories out there. Just do one or two of them. Start with that. If you want to, after you start doing them, maybe you want to spread out and you reach out to different article directories. Take the polite route. Contact the people whose articles you've linked to from your website to ask. Basically, I've linked to your article. I loved your article. It's really got some great information that will really help my following and stuff. Is it okay with you that I've linked to this article? Well, of course it is. They've got that article up. They want it to go, viral. But the thing of it is most people do not ever contact them and say, is this okay? You start putting your name in front of them at this point, where you're just by being polite and asking. It's because it's something that most people don't do. It's something unique. This gives a great opening to possibly friendly discussion and exchange of ideas, if not something more tangible, that like a partnership that comes. This starts opening up and building a relationship. It starts two-way communication. You getting in contact with them, it opens up the door for you just to basically, say, hey, I really enjoy what you're doing. You start building on that ego, and really talking about what make sure you don't go, hey, yeah, you got a lot of great stuff out there, really like it. Oh yeah, well, what'd you like about it? Well, and you didn't do some research to find out what they got. They're going to go, you're after something. So make sure you've done your research, and if you like their stuff, you know what their stuff is all about. So if they ask you those kind of things, they start talking to you about it, you know how to start engaging this conversation and how to make yourself sound professional and intelligent. Pretty soon this is going to lead to exchange of ideas, because they might say, hey, well, what are you doing? Well, this is what I'm doing. I'm just kind of, maybe you're at a point where, my problem right now is doing this, and, and that's why I was kind of searching for some help, and, found your website, and, it's just thought, this opens up a door, and this is what you want to do, is open up doors to relationships. Basically, you'd go to easingarticles.com, and you're going to find that they're going to have a lot of different categories. You're going to be able to click on these categories, and they're going to open up into a lot of subcategories that you can choose from. Once you get in there and you find some articles that you're interested in, you're going to be looking for the resource box at the bottom of the article. You're going to go through, read the articles, and at the bottom you're going to find the resource box. It's going to kind of look a lot like this. It's not going to be all boxed in. It's usually just the information here. It's going to have a website address. Maybe, they're going to talk a little bit about themselves. And there's a couple things that you can do here. Step one, you want to click on their links. What you're doing is you're looking for contact information. You're also looking to make sure that they've got things like squeeze pages set up, that they're actually list building. Believe it or not, people actually put articles out there and never list build from them. They never send them and require any kind of action. So make sure that they've got list building set up, because you're looking for people with lists, remember. The second thing that you want to do is very at the bottom. You're going to see where the article source, and it's usually going to be talking about using article, the expert, and give the name of the expert. So first of all, you're going to have a name. You're going to click on that link. Now, this isn't going to happen on all of them, but when you click on that link, in this case it did. Step 3, you're going to click on extended author bio. This is where it's going to tell you about, when you click on this article source, right here it will say view, it'll say the the author's name, extended author bio. If so, a lot of times they will not have an extended author bio, but if they do, this is going to be a place where you can click on. And what's going to happen here, usually they're going to have several different websites you can check out. They might have contact information. They're going to tell you a bigger bio, a little bit more about them. Very important for you to go there. So not only are you looking for their websites to look, but look for this extended author bio. That's a place that a lot of people don't think about looking, and a lot of people are not going to have that. When you click on that, on this link, it's not going to have their extended author. Joint venture brokers in your niche, and this might not be in every niche. In the Make Money Online, the internet marketing, it's big. There's joint venture brokers out there. Joint venture brokers are networkers, specially trained to find the right partners to make a product or service launch as successful as possible. They have a network of business people that they can recommend. So basically, they have a network of people already that they can recommend to be joint ventures with you. Have experience with brokering numerous joint venture deals, so they know what they're doing, they're experienced, they know how to approach people, they know how to get the yes already. They know what to look for in a successful promotional material. So basically, they're going to take a look at your website and they're going to be able to critique it and give you different pointers on what you could do better to help your website. So basically say, well, your copy really is not something that's going to be very enticing to very many of the people in my network. So maybe we could get somebody to do a little bit better copy for you, and I know just the person that can do that. They know what to look for. They know what their joint venture partners are looking for that they're networking with already. Yes, they usually require a certain percentage of the proceeds. So maybe they're going to take 5 or 10% of your total, of total sales, or maybe it's just the from the profit or whatever. But remember, how much would you be making if you were doing it all yourself? Now, you might not find joint venture products or brokers in every niche, but there are joint venture partners out there that have ventured into other niches and that are going to be able to help you out as well. JV network sites, and this is the IM niche. I really do not know any other ones. They could possibly be out there. I have never really looked for them. But in the joint venture niche, you can go to jvalert.com. This is member exclusive. You have to be invited, or you have to basically write them and let them know why you should be able to get in there. JV Notify Pro. On this site, you'll be able to connect with other marketers, find advice, and ask questions. jv-network.com. On this site, you can post your joint venture offers and see what other marketers have posted. Go to these places, especially in the IM niche. Make sure that you get involved with them, get yourself noticed on these sites. And the thing that I want you to understand is that you don't even have to have everything ready right now. Just start getting noticed on these places. We're going to be talking here about forums in just a second. And this is something that's very, very important. You don't need to wait until everything's ready. You don't need to wait for your product to be ready. Remember, you want to involve people from the very beginning of it. But you need to start building your credibility. So start getting to the forums now. A lot of you'll teach forums marketing and teaching the advantages of using the forums and stuff. And a lot of people say, well, I'm not going to use them yet because I'm not ready for that. You're ready for things like this now because you need to start getting your name out there. You need to start being seen. Start helping people that are looking for help out there, even if it's asking simple questions that people are asking. Look for ways to start helping now. Do not wait until you're ready to go out and find joint venture partners and then have to do it, because then you're going to be longer yet. Start doing these things now, looking for ways to help in getting your name out there and getting on the radar of joint ventures. Basically, with forums, there's no advertising cost, and you can be on the front line of new opportunities simply by scanning forums in your niche. Just do a search on search engines for your niche plus the forums to find forums that discuss topics on products that you have. Get to know the heavy hitters in the forums. It's really easy to see them. They're on there all the time. They're in there all the time. This is the same as places like Twitter, Facebook. They're on there all the time. You really see them. They've got a big following. Really get to know these guys and be following them and watching them. Your first step is to be seen providing value to the forum. Build your credibility. Find ways to help. Find ways to provide value. This is the most important part in the relationship. Testimonials. When you go into sales pages, you can go to find testimonials on there to get contact information or find joint ventures. A rarely used strategy is to go to other websites and contact everyone who has left a testimonial. So maybe you find their name there. Maybe you just do a Google search on their name and see what comes up and see what kind of contact information you can find. A lot of times they'll have a website there. The link might not be working, but they'll at least have a website that you can go check out. Give testimonials for other products so you are seen by potential JV partners. So let's say you know somebody's got a product launch coming out. They've got a product, or maybe you've bought a product that you really love. You send that person a testimonial. Now, get this. This is big. You've just bought a product. You've been on their trainings, whatever it is that you're there. You send that person a testimonial, letting them know what an awesome job they're doing, giving them a testimonial, because a lot of the times the marketers will use those testimonials on their sales pages, and this is getting you seen, because remember, there's a lot of other people that are going to be looking for joint ventures through testimonials. They're going to see your name and start contacting you. This is huge. Get your name out there any way that you can. Other ways you can do is ask for referrals from other joint venture partners. This is a huge way. You've left a testimonial, you've got, on their page, maybe you've contacted some of these marketers and you've got some of them to actually talk to you. Maybe you've got a yes. Find out if they can give you any other referrals, because remember, they're in the targeted market that you're looking at already. Social networks, check out social sites like twitter.com, Facebook, LinkedIn, etc. Start following any marketers that you can find in your niche. Read marketers' profiles to get contact information and all those nice juicy little details that you can find. Build relationships with potential JV partners as you reply back to their posts. This is one of the greatest things about social networking. I am not a big person about selling products through social networks. I don't have a lot of results with social networking. I'm not into it. A lot of people can get the results that they're looking. I am not. I don't like that for. But when it comes to building relationships and doing research on other marketers, when you go to twitter.com, if you notice, everybody on twitter.com, as far as I'm concerned, thinks that they're an expert. They're out there trying to be seen like you are. So, they're looking for people to say, hey, they're out there saying, look at me. Here I am. I'm a big marketer. Facebook, a lot of times the same kind of things. But a lot of times on these things, a lot of people go, well, I get tired about hearing how they did so-and-so. All they do is talk about their family and this and that and everything else. I want to hear about their marketing and stuff like that. Well, we just talked about earlier about their birthdays, anniversaries, things like that. It's like, hey, today's my birthday, I did this. Or you notice other people saying, hey, happy birthday to so-and-so or whatever. Oh, good clue to write that down. But what you need to do is build relationships. Blogs, look for marketers with niche-related blogs. Blog about them and their blog, and also post relevant comments that would get you noticed on their blogs. So not only are you going to promote comments on their blogs about their posts, you also could blog about them and their blogs. So maybe you want to you're making a good impression on them. So on your blog, you talk about certain market. Maybe you do a marketer profile type post every week or once a month or whatever, marketer of the month, where you blog about them and their sites and their products and stuff. Always remember, if you're talking about their products, put affiliate links in. Look for the about pages on their blogs so you can find out more details. Look for list building methods in place. So if they have methods to list build on their blog, great to find that kind of stuff out, because you know that they're probably list building. Sign up to any lists that they have so that you can start finding out more about your competitors and what they're doing and how they're doing it. Don't overlook small list owners. We always talk about finding them with the big list. There are a lot of small lists out there. people who have 200, 300, 400, even 1,000 readers who are very responsive. And the thing that you really need to think about is maybe right now you don't have a big list that you're going to be able to leverage to be able to say, hey, you promote for me and I'll promote back to my list and stuff. Maybe you don't have a list yet, or maybe your list is very small in this range, because these are some of them that are probably going to say yes because they're looking for other people to help them as well. But also, a lot of times they have a very tight-knit community with their people, and they really know their people, and their list is very responsive. Those people can create tremendous results for you because they spread your message virally and very, very quickly for you. So never count out the small list owners. Get recommended by other JV partners. We kind of talked about that. Successful joint venturing does not hinge upon who you know, or does often hinge upon who you know, excuse me. Get into the inner circles. Often joint ventures are landed when you are recommended by a friend of your target JV partner. Most of us have a circle of trusted friends. We have people that we have grown to know, like, and trust, and that's who we prefer working with. The reason is because we know their products, we trust them, and it's just easier to not have to build those other relationships with other people that maybe aren't going to do you so well or whatever. So, and when it comes to promoting their products and stuff, we don't know the products, so it's kind of hard to promote them not knowing exactly what they've got. And when we know we've got that circle of friends that we know put out good products and stuff, you'll notice a lot of times marketers promote the same people's products over and over again. And really don't branch out, is because they know that person, they know the products, and they're usually a good fit for their market. Often we make decisions based upon the recommendations of those we know. So get into these inner circles and get those joint venture partners and start to get them to recommend you to their partners, because a lot of times we'll make a decision just based on somebody else's recommendation. That does not mean that you need to break into your desired joint venture circle or that does mean that you may need to break into your desired joint venture partner's inner circle. You might have to break into it and get in there, do whatever you can to get inside of there. They're not closed. They might seem like it, but it might take a little bit of work, a little bit of effort, but you need to do whatever you can to get inside of those inner circles. Attend live seminar events. Get out and meet people. The number one way to create a joint venture partnership certainly is meeting people live in person. There's no better way to form real partnerships and relationships than the face-to-face meeting. This is where the deals and relationships are made. I have heard marketer after marketer after marketer say, I got ahead the moment I attended a live event. I found my joint venture partners. I started my networking and things really kicked into gear when I got out and I met people. Real joint venture partnerships are formed when it actually breaks from the business to, hey, let's go have a burger or a drink together. That's where relationships are formed. And this is where you walk up to somebody that you're networking with, or you want to get to know. It's like, hey, I'd like to talk to you a little bit. Could I, take you down to the local burger joint or to the restaurant in the hotel that the event's at, or wherever you're at? And, can I buy you a burger or a drink, or whatever? This is where real relationships are formed. You get out of that business atmosphere and you start getting more one-on-one, and you start getting a little bit more personal, and the relationships really take over. Remember, if you're going to live events, have a business card with you that you can hand out. With your information, your contact information, because a lot of times I'll meet people and it's like, man, who was that person? I was interested in what they had, and I don't remember don't have their information, didn't get it wrote down or anything, and my mind went blank, and I want to get in contact with them, and I don't know, I got to go do all the research and everything else. Take a business card, hand them out. Seminar speakers are always being introduced by the host as, I first met this speaker at a seminar, and one right after another it continues. You may look at it as a good old boys club, but the perception that everybody's upset about is that it's a closed club, and it is not by any means. Anybody can be part of this group. Everybody is welcome to get to know us. We're very accessible, but you have to do the initiating of the relationship. We're not just going to do it for you. And this is where the problem starts. So many people will attend a live event and they'll go home, I didn't get anything out of that, man. The marketers, none of them would talk to me or anything else. It's like, well, what did you, who did you approach? Well, I didn't approach any of them, but they wouldn't come up to me and talk to me. You'd think they'd be interested in what I got. Well, their minds are going 100 different direction about maybe what they got to speak on, or they've had, hundreds of people coming up to them, one right after another, and, basically, they're not going to go around initiating a lot of conversation. Sometimes some of the marketers will, but not all the time. It's up to you to go initiate the relationship. We highly recommend that you go to seminars, get to know other marketers, and swap business cards. And not just other marketers. You can begin networking with the other people that are there attending the event with you, because you're going to find out that a lot of people are trying to do the same thing as you are. They're stuck in different places that you could help them, or they can help you. It's very important when you go to live seminars that you go there, you network properly, you get, you just get out there and start building these relationships with other marketers and with other people that are just like you in the same place, because this is where joint ventures really begin to happen. It's so much harder to tell somebody no when they're standing there face to face in front of you asking you something. Get your picture taken with gurus. Get a picture with absolutely everyone that you can meet at an event, and then say, can I have your email so I can send you a copy? What a great way to get basically contact information. A lot of times they're just going to say, here's one of my cards, which is going to have a whole lot more information on than you were asking for. Get a picture with everybody that you can possibly get. Not only can you use it for saying, can I send you a copy of this picture, but you can use it as credibility, saying, look at who I'm associated with on your websites and your blogs. Maybe you put up a picture of on that blog and you talk about that person that you met. Gives you great content to write about. Maybe it was one of the speakers and you write a blog post on what they talked about and how awesome it was. Then let that person know that you did that blog post, and to go send them a link and let them build their ego up. Send back a physical copy of the picture. Remember to sign it. Put your information on the back of that thing. Get their information if you possibly can to send them a physical copy. Frame it for them even. Put it on your Facebook. Tag the picture with their name on it. Write about that person on your Facebook. Put the picture up there. Write about the person you met, how awesome they were, the things that you learned and stuff. And then remember to tag them so it goes to their profile so that they see them. This is a reminder that a potential joint venture partner as to who you are, because a lot of times you meet a lot of people there, and it's very easy to forget the people that you met. But it's up to you to start, once you start initiating that relationship, to continue that relationship with that person. Not just go home and say, well, I met him, now what? You need to continue that relationship. Let them know what a great time you had and how awesome they were. Let them know what you learned from them. Do a blog post with your picture that you got and send the guru a link to the post. Remember, it's all about their ego. Tips to help you build good, solid joint venture partnerships and what to offer when you're just starting out. A lot of people don't think they have much to offer when they first start out with joint ventures, but everybody's got something to offer. Give your something to somebody else and give it without reservation. Say first, what can I possibly do for this person to make their life better? Everybody needs more time, and if you've got something that can offer more time to that potential joint venture partner to make their life better and easier, that's going to go a long way. So always give that something that you have to somebody else. The person that's just starting out with no knowledge, no list, no nothing, has time, energy, maybe money, maybe products, maybe ideas, maybe just the fact that you can run for coffee, but everybody can do something. So maybe you're at an event and you just go get coffee for that person to buy him something, just take it to him, whatever that you have to do to get yourself noticed. You all have something that you can give and start, even if it's just time, just some of your energy. Maybe it's not money. Maybe you don't have products. Maybe you've got an idea that you can run by somebody that, that'd be a potential partner to partner on that idea. Building relationships with joint venture partners. Value the relationship. We're back to the know you, like you, and trust you. If you build a good, solid relationship, the part about I've got a product, I've got a commission, etc., is just a no-brainer. When you've got that relationship going, then it's fine to contact your joint venture partners, and because you've got that relationship, you're going to get the yeses when you say, hey, I got another product for you to promote, and this is the commission you're going to get. They already know what to expect from you. You might have a 6 or 7 figure deal with a joint venture partner, but the partnership could actually be worth more money over time. So work to keep it strong, keep that partnership strong, that relationship building and strong. A lot of people will drop those joint venture partners after the first time and will not continue to build upon them. You might have had a 6-figure launch, but think of how much more that joint venture partner could be worth to you over time. Cold contacting potential JV partners may result in, I don't know you, I don't know what you stand for, and I don't know if I like you. I don't know if I can trust you. All of these things are missing because you don't have a relationship yet. Focus all of your attention on helping the people you want to work with. You need to be 100% focused on how you can help the person you are approaching. The law of reciprocity requires that when someone does you a favor that you seek ways to reciprocate. Learn to deliberately tap into this law by doing nice things for others, particularly JV partners. That's not diabolical. It's not this big diabolical plan. That's engineering a yes. Look at it that way, of doing things nice for others and expecting things back. You know, that's not just this big scheme of like, oh, I'm going to do things nice and because I'm going to get other things back. But that's how it works. And that's how, if you've been in life very long, you understand that already, that doing things others may not always get some results, but a lot of times it's going to get you better results than not doing things. It's not about your product. It's about how something you know, something you've learned, something you can learn, something you can do, something you can figure out how to do can help somebody else. Maybe it's proofreading and editing ebooks, creating Camtasia videos, submitting to YouTube for them. So maybe it's not just that you see that they don't have articles or Camtasia videos out there or whatever on YouTube or whatever. You can create them and do the submitting for them to help them drive traffic. Why would you want to help somebody else drive traffic to their sites? Because it's getting you noticed and it's going to get you a yes in the long run. Maybe it's doing graphics for them. Maybe it's, where you just say, hey, I seen this site. I made these cool graphics for you. I just thought I'd share them with you. They're yours, free to use if you want to. No strings attached. Just thought I'd offer them. Maybe it's helping them with support. If you notice their support's bad, instead of griping and complaining about it, say, hey, is there something I can do to help you with your support? I know maybe you're behind or whatever. I think I could really do a great job there. Find what you can do. Research your potential joint venture partners. You've got to do your homework. Joint venture partners are looking for this. Don't go to somebody when you don't know the first thing about them. Do your research on the people you want to bring your organization into your organizations and do joint ventures with. It's absolutely critical. If you go to somebody knowing nothing about them, you're going to get found out and you're not going to get the yes that you're looking for. Do your homework. Your teacher is telling you to do your homework. This is one time that you do not want to skip your homework. Read their books, listen to their CDs, read their bios, read their profiles on social sites, read their sales copy, check out what kind of products they have, follow them on places like Twitter, Facebook, etc. to learn their likes and dislikes. Find out everything you possibly can. Get to know who they are. Focused on trust. You need to build the trust factor. If a dog bites you, you trust that dog. You trust that if you stick your hand out again, it's going to bite you again probably. Some joint ventures do exactly what they say when they say they're going to do it. Some of them don't. Some people have different standards or styles of business too, and you need to know this. And they need to know that they can trust you when they get going into this. So work on the trust factor. Focus on trust. Be reliable. When you say you're going to do something, make sure that you absolutely do it so they know that they're going to be able to trust you. Do what you say you're going to do. Be sincere and build relationships. Live by the principle that basic courtesy and sincerity is a must in any relationship, especially with your joint venture partners. Be sincere, be courteous, be honest. Trust breeds trust. Build a relationship to last a lifetime as opposed to a one-time partnership. Joint venture partners are not looking for the one-hit wonder that comes out, launches a product, and they're never seen again. They're looking for that person to build a long-term relationship with. Think about just creating a friendship with somebody. Do you want that friendship to last a little while and then be done with? No, that's not a happy occasion. That's not something that we want to build upon. Make sure that you build relationships that are going to last. Show that joint venture partner that you're here to stick around. You've got your back-end marketing set up. There's going to be a long-term relationship in place. Focus on adding value. This goes toward your credibility. Do you have something of true value that will actually benefit the joint venture partner's customers? Do you have a product, for example, that will actually show your JV partner's customers how to do something, solve a problem for them, or will give them an opportunity to save money or time or whatever your particular offer is? If the joint venture partner's customers are happy, that reflects well on both partners, both you and your joint venture partner. Have a quality product. One of the biggest problems I see is people coming to a potential JV partner with products of nothing more than rehashed products. I'm not talking about you can't have PLR products and stuff, but I'm saying you need to make sure that you don't go out there and get that ebook that's been out there 5 million times. Everybody's promoted the same ebook 5 million times. They haven't changed the thing one bit. Or you've got this product where you've just went out and you've grabbed a couple ebooks and that have been out there forever, and you wrote another ebook on these too. Have a quality product that's not all rehashed, because JV partners really care what their subscribers are going to think. And if they've already sent this stuff out, why are they going to want to send it out again? Give JV partners a copy of the product to review. Make sure that you give your JV partners a complimentary copy of your product, whether it's a $47, $297, or a $2,000 product. Don't try to say, well, I have a massive physical product, but I've converted it to Flash, so here's a digital version of it. Always send the physical product. Make sure it's a complimentary. Don't make them buy it. There's nothing worse than approaching your JV partner saying, hey, if you want to look at the product, here's the link, go buy it. People don't read and print 300-page PDFs that are given to them. Make it as easy as possible. Make sure you send these, especially a physical product, so your JV partner can do an honest review of your product. You want him to do the very best he can when you get him to say yes. When they promote it, you want them to do a good job. They need to know what your product is. Customer support concerns. If I'm a JV partner, I see potential problems. I want to make sure there's an infrastructure in place that's going to be able to handle any concerns. Make sure you have these things in place, such as refund issues. Make sure you can show how you're going to take care of them. Make sure you're going to show how you're going to take care of tech support if it's a technical product. Things that my subscribers may have problems with your product or service. Make sure that you got things in place to show that you're going to be able to take care of them. Very often I'll see a product that's a really good product, but I'm not sure that there's enough support for it in place that's actually going to help my customer, and I'm going to probably end up doing a lot of the support. Good converting sales copy. You have a great product. Your website's completing. You've tested the sales of the product to make sure that your sales letter converts website visitors into customers. Before you approach JV partners, make sure that you got good converting copy, that your sales copy is good, it's ready to go. At least be able to show that you have measures in place to help get the best conversions possible. So you can say, hey, I've got split testing. I've got different versions of this. Here's both of them. If one's not working, we're going to be doing some split testing. I'm going to be on top of this to make sure that I get the best conversions for you. Make sure that you got some good sales copy. Show your JV partners the sales copy. Think JV partners, not competitors. Any competitor can turn into your best joint venture ally and strongest salesperson if you know what to do. Your job is simply to find out how you can complement what they do rather than compete head-to-head with them. First, see what the majority of people in your marketplace are selling, promoting, or offering. They're all doing virtually the same things. Find out what it is and how you can complement what they're doing. Think about how you can help them and their customers get more of what they want. So the things that they're selling, see what you can do to get their customers more of what they're looking for. Wrap your product or service in a way that your new ally can not only make more money or more sales, but also make their customers even happier. So even think of the packaging that you're doing. Be unique and irresistible. Be different. Give them something others are not offering. This is like your product creating, we've been talking, what makes you different? Learn the great importance of packaging irresistible offers. You have to be that irresistible offer. Your products have to be that irresistible offer. Even for joint venture partners, you have to show them your irresistible offer. Treat them like a customer. Create irresistible deals to get the joint ventures going. Provide a host of benefits and be responsive to them. If they're asking you questions, respond back to them. Everyone enjoys being treated well, especially valued joint venture partners. At the end of the day, everyone who's doing joint ventures is simply saying, okay, how much is this going to make for me? Based on the other opportunities I have, why would I do this one over another one? You got to understand that this potential JV partner is getting a lot of people trying to contact him to do JV partners. What makes you unique above everybody else that is going to make that JV partner say, I'm going to work with you instead of all the rest of them that have contacted me today? In summary, what JV partners are looking for from you is somebody that's going to take action and produce results. If you say something that you're going to do, make sure that you do it. They're looking for you to take the action that you say that you're going to do. They're looking for you to be an actual partnership. It's a joint venture. Remember, they're looking for you to produce results. They're going to do their best to produce results, and they're looking for you from you the same things. If you don't produce results, the JV dies right there on the vine. Now, this might not happen right away, but if you get known for somebody that does not produce results, word of mouth is going to spread, and your JV partners are going to start dying on the vine. What happens over and over again is that we talk about it, we think about it, we learn about it, we get caught up with it, we buy all the packages, and then we never do a simple thing with it. We've basically learned all about joint venture partners, and there's so much more that could be taught about this. But we've learned a lot tonight. Take what you've learned and actually do something with it. Use it. There's a lot of information that you got that you can get started with right now, no matter what where you're at within your business. Don't just get all caught up with everything going on and get in this information overload and stuff. Start implementing some of these things. Don't just be one of those persons that takes all of this stuff and never does a single thing with it. Once we get through the process of actually doing something, then you can duplicate that again and again. So once you realize you can do this, you're going to be able to duplicate this over and over again. You understand that. When you finally get those results, you understand it's possible to go get more results, and it motivates you. It just gets that momentum going, and you find yourself duplicating this thing over and over again, and it gets more exciting as your list of JV partners grows. It's the same thing in joint venture relationships, and one of the biggest things, research may be time consuming, but your end goal is to make great money through JV efforts. So your time will be spent very wisely. Make sure that you do your research. The teacher's telling you right now to do that homework once again. Make sure that you do it properly, and you take what you've learned and implement them, and maybe not everything that we've talked about here tonight, but make sure that you implement these things that we've been teaching and get out there and just start doing them. It's possible for you to do this. Yes, it's going to take some work on your part. It might take a lot of work, but is it worth it in the end when you start seeing the sales come in? Yes, it is. Know that from firsthand experience.